Our life has, in recent years, sort of been steered by a group of people with enormous power and very powerful media organs. They've sort of picked at the scab of the carnage of the Great Recession. It's a damn poor kind of leadership when people seek to divide, don't appeal to the best in people, they appeal to the worst.
But there's no question about it that this mean-spirited, angry, in many cases ginned-up voice in the legislature is wearing. And, there are many good people who could refer to themselves as Tea Party types, but by and large what we're talking about, or what I'm talking about, is just sort of this shrill appealing to the worst in people that's ginned up by special interests. I got up this morning and I heard that there's some new group has been created and they're running ads, very, benign sounding name like the Homeowners Association or something, and it's to push the governor's tax cut plan. And, it's gotten to the point where I don't really believe that group is my constituents, because I'm pretty good and pretty consistent about getting out and talking to my constituents. I'm not saying for a moment there aren't people out there who like the governor's tax cut plan, but it's absolutely clear to me from going around my district that most people, when given an opportunity without advance information or given both sides of the issue, will say, pay off the structural deficit, pay off our bills, save a little money for a rainy day. We're tired of crisis government. And, oh, by the way, if you have any money left over, how about putting it into our schools or our roads? Most people, though, are saying, look, it's an election year. Don't think we don't see what's going on here. What we really want is just get rid of the debt. It's not really the Tea Party. It's this whole subculture of bloggers who sit around the kitchen table before they shave in the morning and sort of, vent in an angry sort of way. It's this industry of professional consultants who sits down and takes a look at who's hurting and then finds a way to sort of blow in their ear these sort of just sick messages. They do it on talk radio quite often, and it's not very intelligent, but it is effective. Some of it's quite entertaining. But the common theme usually is it is really mean-spirited, and it appeals to, the prejudices that we all have that we try to repress as we go about our daily life and try to do the right thing. And people keep saying to me, Dale, why is it that we're so vital to the oil industry that we don't tax or take a royalty on the sand we ship out of this state, when those states we ship it to or those countries we ship it to are taking a royalty for the oil they send us or the LP they send us? I want to speak about and be active on, which is just the state of public education, particularly this sort of demonization of anybody connected to education. And let me be clear. I believe it is fair to challenge educators. I think it's fair to challenge each and every one of us in our daily lives. But we have had generations of Wisconsinites who have built one of the finest educational systems in the world. And I think just trashing it and demonizing the professionals that serve us doesn't improve education. And again, I think just tears at the fabric of our society. And then finally, the final issue is redistricting. Again, I just fundamentally believe there's something wrong when politicians pick their constituents rather than the constituents picking their politicians or their representatives. And when we're able to do that, it fosters extremism. And it was clear to me on the subject of mining, for example, that the bill that the lobbyists and the industry wrote was going to not create any jobs because the Army Corps of Engineers was likely to decouple. I knew that because they just plain told us that, and of course now they have done that. I also believe that it was just a bad bill environmentally, and water is the most precious resource on this planet of ours. And when you have 10% of all the fresh water in the world in Lake Superior and over 40% of the wetlands serving that body of fresh water in the Bad River watershed in the Pinokies, we have to be not less careful, we have to be more careful. And we didn't do the right thing there. I think people are increasingly understanding that. The department released over 100 pages of a report talking about the things that they had to be concerned about, and the same industry that told us, trust the professionals at the DNR, even if they don't have the laws they had before, they will do the right thing, suddenly was attacking the Department of Natural Resources for even identifying these issues. And that just makes me realize more that these people will keep taking as much as they can, trying to lessen their obligations. That's not in the interest of Wisconsin. And I think I know that, many people I know that, and we just have to keep pointing that out. We've talked a little bit about mining. Let me just say with respect to Act 10, my concern is, and it's been largely played out the way I thought it would, that act would deeply divide this state and force us into positions that made progress on almost anything very, very difficult. And I don't think there's any question it has done that, and it's like a lot of other labor disputes. I suspect it's going to linger for more than a generation. And there was a way to achieve the financial goals that the governor put forth as the reason for doing this without deeply dividing people, leaving people with their dignity. I offered that, as I think virtually anybody who's watched that process knows. And contrary to what one of my colleagues said, 3 days a week at most, it'll all be over. It's something we're going to live with for decades to come.